Guys, welcome back to the farm. Today we're going to talk about some things you need to know when you're getting ready to breed pigs. We are not experts, but we've learned a couple things over the 4 years we've been doing it. So today we're going to try and put those all together and share them with you. All right, guys, to start out, we're in here with our gilt pen. And for starters, if you don't know what a gilt is a female pig that has not yet had piglets. So we are in here with our gilts. And so some of these are going to be ready. But the first thing we get asked a lot is, what age should I breed my Kunekune pig? And Kunekunes are not like other pigs. They are a slow growing pig. And so it takes them a little bit longer to get to that age. So we usually wait between 14 and 18 months, and it all depends on the gilt. This is Willoughbean. She is 16 months old, and she will be ready for some spring litters. We'll probably be putting her in with a boar here, maybe December-ish, so we can get some spring litters. And same thing with Molly over here. She is also 16 months. She's a little bit smaller than Willoughbean, so we might wait a little bit longer. But by the time she is ready to have the piglets, she should be a nice, big, solid pig. So the first thing is you want to wait between, some people say 12. We usually say about 14 to 18 months, depending on that pig. And sometimes you can just tell the difference. I know it sounds funny, but some people will say their pig is a little immature, a little, I guess, childish or piglet acting. When you spend time with your pigs, you will realize that. You will see that in different pigs that just aren't quite ready to breed. So here is another example. This is Betty White, and she has just turned a year on October 5th, and you can see she's a bit smaller. Not much. She's a good fast growing pig, actually. So by the time she's probably 14 months, she will be ready to breed. So she's just a year old compared to Willoughbean over there, who's 16 months, and then Molly hiding behind the tree, who's also 16 months. And then these young gilts, I'm not sure their age, I didn't check, but they are very young yet. And that is one reason you do not want them in with your boars at too young of an age. So we might as well talk about that now. These gilts, a lot of people will call and ask and say they want a male and female for future litters. And we've got a video, we'll post that right here, on how you should start, or what you should start with pigs, because these females will come into heat at around 5 months. They can start coming into heat and they can possibly get bred. That would be very unhealthy for the pig, and you would not have a good experience. It could kill the female, because she's not ready to be carrying a litter of pigs. So check out that video on how you should start. We did a video on that. But sometimes also, if you keep your males and females together when they're young, we've heard people call it friend syndrome. They just end up being friends and their boar won't breed. We've never had that problem because we don't keep our boars and sows together, but just something to think about. So getting your sow to the right age before you put them in with a boar to breed is a big thing. So shoot for those 14 to 18 month range. Some sows can go younger, some sows wait longer. We've waited up to 2 years before we've bred some of our sows, just because of their size and the way they were growing. So that's the first thing to consider when you're thinking about breeding your pigs. All right, heading over to our next pen. We've got some gilts and we've got some sows in here. 3 of these have had piglets before and the other 3 have not. We might as well call this the Jamie pen. These are the 6 pigs that she went and picked up. We're going to be talking about heat cycles in here with this pen. Pigs come into heat every 21 days. A lot of people ask, when should I put my pig in with my boar? Wow, that's a big old yawn. We do it differently. When we're ready to breed pigs, we don't wait until they come into heat. we just put them in with their boars, and we'll leave them in there until we see them bred or till we notice that they do not come into heat again. So there's a couple ways you can look for it. You'll look on their back end. Usually there's a white leaky discharge. I don't think any of these girls are in heat right now. Sometimes that's hard to tell. Some of our pigs never show that. Others you can definitely tell. Some other ways you can tell, they may be in a standing heat. If you come up to the back end of the pig and you push down on it really hard and they don't move, which this pig thinks I'm scratching her. If they don't move, they're in a standing heat, and you can put them in with your boars and they'll be ready to breed. Like I said, we don't wait for the signs like that. When we want them to start being bred, we just put them in with our boars, and we'll leave them in there for a couple weeks. We've left them in there all the way up until we move the females into the farrowing barns. So actually, we've actually had litters that have been born right in with the boar, just because we didn't see when they were bred and we weren't sure of the date. But the boars have been fine. They have not bothered the piglets, but those are signs you can look for. If you're wanting to get them in right as they're in heat, every 21 days, pigs will come back into heat. So be looking for that. Like I said, some of the signs are hard to see, but sometimes the females can get a little pushy. Not as in aggressive, but they want to rub up on you. They're honking a lot. They're snorting a lot. Hey, did you get your teeth brushed this morning? But those are some signs to look for. If you don't see them come into heat, I wouldn't be too worried. Like, sometimes it is definitely hard to tell. If you're looking for that discharge, you're about to roll into your wallow, you silly pig. So these girls are going to be put in with boars here shortly. What are you doing? Do you like the idea of being in there with a boar? So look for those signs every 21 days. If you think they may have been bred, and then you mark it on your calendar, wait 21 days. If they don't come back into heat, you can be pretty confident that they are bred. So if you're wondering about the heat cycles, every 21 days. All right, we're in here with our last group of all sows. These are all pigs on our farm that have had piglets. We've got Delilah there and Millie. I was telling you about the pig we waited almost till they were 2 years old to put her in to have piglets. That is Millie. She's just a smaller pig. She's had great litters and she's done really well, but just making sure the pig is ready to carry a litter is very important. But in this pen, we're going to talk about signs that your pig is pregnant. We kind of talked about it in the last pen. If your pig does not come back into heat, you know it is possibly bred. We see a lot of pictures online asking, is my sow pregnant? Is my pig pregnant? Well, that can be hard to tell. Hey, Willa. Hey, Willa. Annie, you are so talkative. But sometimes it takes between 1 or 2 weeks before they have their piglets for a milk line to drop. Now the milk line runs right down the center of the pig, and they'll start filling up with milk. You can see, hey, I'm trying to talk here. You can see on Jelly Bean, she's starting to show, her belly's starting to sag. A lot of pigs we see are very overweight. These Kunekunes are a lard hog. You don't need to feed them that much. And so we see a lot of fat pigs, and just because they're fat doesn't mean they're pregnant. We feel our pigs are in pretty good shape as far as pig goes. We don't overfeed them. We try not to overfeed them. We do 2 cups in the morning, 2 cups in the evening per pig, and they do quite well. So sometimes we feel it's easier to tell on our pigs that they are pregnant. I'll try to get a side shot of Willow here. She's pretty obvious. You can see her stomach is really starting to sag. Her teats are starting to get big. Sometimes it will be 1 to 2 weeks before their farrowing day before you actually see that milk line start to develop. And we've always said, once you can express milk from the teats, it is pretty much always been dead on for us. Within 24 hours of expressing milk, you will have piglets. So we've got Willow, I'm sorry, I guess that's my country starting to come out. Willow is expecting. Jelly Bean is expecting. Now she's a lot longer pig, so she doesn't get so big hanging to the ground all the time, so sometimes it's hard to tell. We've got Josie, who's expecting. As you get on this top view here, you can kind of see her sides starting to swell out here. Usually if you're feeling for piglets, the best time is when they're laying down, but it's right in this area. You'll feel a piglet kick. You guys are being very pregnant-like. Penny is also due. She's a little bit furrier, so it's kind of harder to see her belly starting to protrude out. Delilah, you're not pregnant yet. Let's see, I said Jelly Bean. Millie. Millie is one of our lowest pigs, so she is normally almost riding the ground by the time she's ready to have her piglets. And I think that's it. There's 5 of them. Jelly Bean, Millie, Willow, Josie. You can really start to see this sag come down on Josie and starting to really round out. And then Penny is also due. So like I said, sometimes you'll see those pictures, is my pig pregnant? Well, it's hard to tell, but you want to look for the signs. Are they coming back into heat? Just because they're fat doesn't mean they're pregnant. But as they start to get closer, that belly really protrudes. That milk line, you'll feel a line in between the 2 rows of teats on the pigs, and you'll be able to tell that milk is coming in. So I hope that answers some questions. Those are some things we have learned. Like I said, some other things. Boars, we've kept boars in right up until they've had piglets. They're not bad. They're not aggressive. We haven't had issues. Here's a good shot. Look at Josie standing there. You can see that belly sagging. We've probably got 2-3 weeks before these pigs are ready to have piglets, so they will get bigger, but you can tell that they are pregnant. I would probably say, I don't know the dates, I didn't look at them, but I would think maybe Jelly Bean might be the last one, but they'll probably prove me wrong. So anyway, but as far as boars, you can put them in, you can leave them in right up until farrowing. I know there are people that have their piglets right out in the field and the boars are in there with them and they don't have issues with it. We've never done that. Well, not on purpose. So anyway, guys, I hope that information is helpful for you. If you're thinking about starting to breed pigs and what signs to look for and what to do, like I said, we don't put them in when they come into heat. We just put them together and eventually they're going to come into heat and the boars will take care of business there. And the last thing, if you do see your pig getting bred, you can kind of figure out when the due date is. Pig's gestation is 116 days. That is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. That way you can kind of figure out when you're gonna have a litter of piglets. 116 days, 333. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. If that pig took when you saw it get bred, you will have piglets. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer those. We hope you are having a fantastic weekend. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and don't forget to make the change.